Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, the leaders in below the waistline grooming, baby, because you gotta keep that grass low so that tree can definitely show, baby. But we've talked about, all their awesome products, right? The premium performance package that they have, where we talk about that 2-in-1 shampoo that my man Deke loves to use. Man, he keeps that hair extra fluffy and clean. I personally like the body wash. Always makes me feel good and smell like a manly man. But more importantly, that Lawnmower 4.0, the one with that tactical light that turns on and off, I never leave home without it, baby. So when you're on the road, you got to keep the trimmers with you, baby. But as
You got it in your glove compartment in your car.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, you never know. We got action? All right. Manscaped. But that's how you keep it feeling good. But as we always say, man, we don't talk about anything on this show unless we have a promo code for you, baby. And that promo code is dun-da-da-da, MOATS. Use that promo code. You get you 20% off along with free shipping worldwide at manscaped.com. So stop wasting time and make sure you use that promo code. Cop the awesome products. And I can trust you. You can trust me when I tell you this. Your delicate dangly twins will be thankful for it. Okay? Left tackle out of Southern Utah, number 77, Braxton Jones. Big body, but like long, lean type of guy, man. 6'7", 310 pounds. Predominantly played left tackle at Southern Utah. At the Senior Bowl, he did take some reps at right tackle to show a little bit of versatility. But he, to me, looks like, more of the left tackle mold. But it was good to at least see him be able to switch sides. But when I look at him, man, he's long and lean in terms of, just his build. He's not a thicker body tackle like some of these guys are. When you think of like a Zach Banner or even a Chooks, right? Those are thicker body top and bottom. This guy, he's lean. He looks like he just ate a lot in a sense, man. But he has really long arms, which I like about him as well. I think he moves really well, too, for his size, and he anchors versus the bull rush. I think he could be a little bit more consistent there, but for the most part, I think that he plays with good fundamentals in terms of keeping his helmet out of the blocks, right? We talked about, I forgot which play we were talking about 2 weeks ago that we said always would drop his head on contact, the tackle from Texas, San Antonio, whatever. He would always drop his helmet on contact, and it would kind of put him in bad situations. I think that Braxton does a better job of just staying up out of it. He's also a guy who carries his hands low. Now, it's a pro and a con because carrying his hands low, it doesn't allow defenders to swipe his hands easily. They don't have that target. And when he is going to, when he's in pass protection, he's able to get up under these guys and get their pads nice and clean. But like I said, you got to be right. You got to have your timing good because otherwise your chest is exposed. So like I said, it's a pro, but it's also a con in a sense. I think that he does have strong hands because when you see him latch onto defenders,
they ain't moving.
Yeah, they don't move. They don't move. And I do feel like he he gets his feet moving well. Now, initially when the contact happens, his feet stops. And that's why you'll see him struggle at times when guys are able to just, put together moves in sequence, which typically happens a lot at the NFL level. At the NFL level, once you hit once, you're going to that next move. You're going to that next thing. You're trying to flow. For him, at times, that's where he can struggle a little bit because he initially, when he hits them, his feet do stop. But if they're not already, thinking about that next move, he gets his feet rolling right after that, and then he's typically good. But like I said, I think his technique is really good. I like that a lot. I do like the fact that, even though he struggles at time with the speed rush or the up and under, like the dip rush that we see TJ Watt do a lot, even though he struggles with that, his counter or his ability to, I guess, give him a little bit of balance is he uses those long arms to engulf some of these defenders when they're going down like that. Or he'll take his offhand and put it on the defender's hip, their back hip, and kind of just run them by or just push them so that way they can stop their momentum. But I do think that, he's athletic enough to play on the perimeter. I also could potentially see him moving inside and being, like I said, one of them big body guards as well, where he doesn't have to necessarily be threatened by speed. Remember, because that's kind of how I felt about Trevor Penning as well. It's like, I like the size, but I'm worried about versus those flamethrowers on that perimeter that can dip, the guys that have that speed off the edge. I do think that he's going to struggle with that at times. And I just don't think he generates a ton of movement in the ring game. I think he's more of a position blocker versus a mauler. Meaning, when you watch him block, he's going to get his body where it needs to be, and his butt will be in the hole. So that way the defender's not there, but he's not necessarily blowing guys off the field. And I was a little bit hesitant about that because I know he was playing against smaller DNs as well with the competition that he was going against. So that was why I was really questioning how strong he actually is as well, man.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he moves too well in the running game. I feel like you're asking him to get out in space.
Yeah, he crosses over at times.
Not terrible, not terrible because you're at his size and everything that we talked about. He looks like kind of athletic, but he's not a dude that's going down the field like that. And it's sometimes it could look a little awkward. But I like what you were saying about his feet constantly moving, because it looks like sometimes the rushers could get a really nice punch on him and he's get pushed back. But then he has that really nice anchor, and then he can just be a brick wall, and then he just stays
absolutely,
there.
Man.
But
absolutely,
it goes back to your other point. I've seen him get cooked a couple times, like way too easily.
Yeah, and it was because
speed
of the
rushers,
speed.
I guess. Those like counter moves.
Yeah, the speed rushers and the guys that can dip under him, he struggles a lot with that. And that, like I said, that's for me why I just ask myself, like, I don't think that he can start and like live on that perimeter because the speed is going to hurt him. But if you're talking extra alignment, I think that's an easy thing for him. I think that he could come in and transition to a guard position where he isn't going to be threatened as much by that speed. And I think that he could excel there as well. He would just be a tall guard, but I think he could do that also, though, man.
Yeah. Looks like late round pick, as you mentioned, extra lineman right now.
Yeah.
Has potential, just got to be coached up. That was kind of my takeaway.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I wasn't blown away watching him, but like I said, watching him at the Senior Bowl, I did like him a lot more because he showed that anchor versus just higher quality competition. Because like I said, Southern Utah, they weren't a good team this past season. I don't think they won a game. They were getting beat pretty bad, but seeing him at the Senior Bowl, it just kind of showed me that, hey, man, the team sucked, but he's still a good player. I just don't think he's a great player. But, I mean, right now, when you're talking about certain caliber guys like him, I mean, they're going to have some holes. They're going to have some flaws. But he is a guy that, like I said, I could see as a extra lineman type early on, man. I definitely think like later round for me, though, if I'm looking at him, man.